First of all, new settings for the stream, making it much higher resolution. We'll see if that actually works. It seems like my internet might be able to take it now that I have better internets, although my face seems to be lagging behind what I'm actually saying, or maybe that's just me. So today I'm going to be fixing a couple of issues in this new use auth hook that I released a couple of hours ago really, and I already got 2 issues, which is amazing. So I'm gonna try fixing them. Let's see. I don't actually know how to fix them, so we're gonna figure it out together while we're here. But the nice thing is that we now have the Gatsby example project and the use auth hook and everything are now both in the same repository, which makes it a lot easier to develop these things. So let's see, what did I do last time? Aha, I seem to have updated the readme, git commit -a-m, update readme. Alright, so I'm going to, using local storage is not considered best practice, support for PKCE, Chrome extension flow. Okay, we're gonna try that later. Actually, should we start with that? Because I know that somebody mentioned that to me on Twitter as well. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. PKCE. How do I test that? Let's see. Aha. Alright, so here we go. Somebody from Auth0 reached out and mentioned the something about PKCE, which I don't know what that is. So we're gonna do our best trying to implement it because it does make sense. Although actually let's start with the easier one, local storage for storing tokens, which is not apparently the best idea. So using local storage for storing Auth0 tokens is not considered the best practice per their docs. Instead, they recommend using the check session method if no backend is available. Alright, we're gonna do the check session method. Let's try doing that. Check session per their docs. Let's see what's linked here. Use auth to do where to store tokens. Don't store tokens in local storage, which is exactly what I'm doing. So if we look at the, let's see, I can close all of this stuff actually. I can close these windows as well, and then go into use auth or auth.js. Is it? No. Let's see. Let me open the right repository. So use auth is what I want to open, and we're gonna go into auth.js, use auth.js, change this to React mode so that I have good prettier support. Now let's see, handle authentication, and then where we are storing stuff is in the reducer, use auth reducer JS. So let's see, Babel JavaScript, React. So here where my words aren't working today. So I'm saving stuff in local storage for the access token and the ID token, and their docs say that can be accessed through JavaScript, which I thought was a good idea, and may be vulnerable to cross-site scripting, which is not a great idea. If an attacker steals a token, they can gain access to and make requests to your API. Treat tokens like credit card numbers. Don't store them in local storage. If no backend is present, if you have a single page SPA with no corresponding backend server, your SPA should request new tokens on login and store them in memory without any persistence. To make API calls, your SPA would then use the in-memory copy of the token. I guess we can do that. Let's see. So, using check session to acquire new tokens. The check session method allows you to acquire a new token from Auth0 for a user who is already authenticated against Auth0 for your domain. The method accepts any valid Auth0 to Auth2 parameters that would normally be sent to authorize. If you omit them, it will do stuff. The call to check session can be used to get a new token for the API that was specified as the audience when WebAuth was initialized. Okay, we can do that. So let's see. or the token can be acquired for a different API than one used when initializing web app. Scope read, okay. So we're gonna do that in use auth here. So we're gonna have user info and then parse hash, check session, audience. Okay, so I think the way we gotta do this is, instead of storing stuff in local storage, here we're going to, my cam is too high. Like that. Is that what you meant, Candy Cane? Ah, hello bird. So I have a bird in my shirt right now. Is that better? I think that's a little bit better. So we're gonna, instead of, actually let's try just calling it first. So we go into use auth and let me check what does the package JSON say for use auth Gatsby. Here I want to use a relative dependencies. Was it that? I think that's what it was. So relative dependencies, we're going to say React use auth is going to use .. that one. Save. Why is this not saving? Does it really need to be? I guess it needs to use full quotes, can't auto-correct that. Okay. So in use auth, we're going to use an effect here. So use effect, or should it be in the reduce in the provider? Let's put it in the provider. The provider makes more sense for this. So in auth provider, here, Babel JavaScript. So instead of reading from local storage, we're going to try this check session thing. So we're going to say use effect, use reducer, use effect, and then we're going to run a, let's see, use effect that runs on page load, and it's initially just going to say console log hi, just so I can make sure that it's actually running. And then I'm going to go into use auth Gatsby. Let me close that. Let me close that as well, and go make sure I'm in a good folder. cd examples Gatsby yarn start. Let's see if that works. So that should rebuild my auth library. There, it did that. Relative depths works great. So now Gatsby is starting, and then we're going to check out what happens if I try the thing. By the way, Candy Cane, how's my stream looking? I'm testing out new configuration for OBS, and I want to know how well it works. We go to localhost 8000. Waiting for localhost. Wait for it to bundle up. Alright, so it says hi. Perfect, that part works. So now instead of hi, you can only see the top of my beanie. That makes no sense. It's showing me here that you can see everything. Let's see, what am I actually streaming out? Okay, loading the preview, saying it's offline. Come on, show me what I'm doing. Come on. Okay, there's a warning here. Your settings for create different quality versions of the same stream. No. Okay, so I don't actually know what I'm streaming then. Let's try that again. Settings. Settings, stream, output. Come on. Stream health, what is this saying? So I'm trying to see what I'm actually streaming. Whoa, okay, so that is definitely misconfigured. Because I'm doing here... I know, I see what's wrong. Okay, let me restart this thing. I think. Alright, am I back? Yes. Alright, so I'm back. And now the stream health is saying it is really struggling. Why am I uploading at such a slow speed though? Bad, potentially serious viewing issues, okay. Okay, that's not working. Let me try again. Okay, so I think it's gonna work now. Please let me know if that doesn't fix it. Let's see, is it actually working now? Come on, Kiwi, where do you want to go? Kiwi, stop doing that. Relax. So Candy Cane, the issue was that my the output of OBS video was misconfigured for what the actual stream output was, so the resolutions didn't match. Now what I'm gonna try to do, and by the way, Candy Cane, is it actually working now? Am I smooth? Can you see everything? And so on. So let's see. Kiwi, please stop scratching me so much. So I'm going to... Ow! Hey! Now I'm gonna try to actually do this. Can be used to get a new token for the API that was special. Auth0 check session, audience scope. Okay, so we're going to run check session and get a function back. So I'm doing auth0.check session on an empty thing, and then we get back a function with error and auth result, and that does what for us? Console log error and auth result, and let's see what happens. Where to store tokens, app users, come on, home Gatsby blah. So error auth result high. Oh, I need to restart Gatsby to actually see the changes. So the idea is that instead of reading from local storage, we're going to be using check session every time. So and then we're going to be using memory for stuff. Pa-pa-da-pam. Come on, come on. You can do this, computer. Seriously, computer, why are you so slow? Alright, so it rebuilt Gatsby. Hey fuzzy buddy, say hi to your family. How old are you? Oh, and happy birthday, of course. See, Kiwi comes to say happy birthday as well, even though he's a bird and doesn't actually speak. The server responded with a status of 400. Why? That was for... I don't know what the result was of that. Okay, so if I do login, it logs me in. I go back, and then it still responds with 400. Why is it responding with 400? Check. Computer, stop being weird. So I am getting a 400 and I can't even see the request. auth callback, commons. Yeah, so reload the page. I failed to load resource in authorize. Why is it? Ugh, computer, come on. So, okay, how do I actually use check session? Nice. 12 is a great age, fuzzy buddy. So sign up, check. The check session method allows you to acquire a new token from Auth0 for a user who is already authenticated against Auth0 for your domain. Alright, so we're gonna do it this way. When auth provider loads, it needs to put stuff in memory, right? So instead of reading from local storage, let's see, error if automatic parse hash fails, or the token can be acquired for a different API. Note that check session triggers any rules. The actual redirect to auth/authorize happens inside an iframe, so it will not reload your application or redirect away from it. However, the browser must have third-party cookies enabled. Otherwise, check session is unable to access the current user's session, making it impossible to obtain a new token without displaying anything to the user. Remember to add the URL where the authorization request originates from to the allowed web origins list of your Auth0 application in the dashboard. If the connection is a social connection, you're using Auth0 dev keys, the check session call will always return login required. In some multi-application scenarios, password reset requests, user management. Okay, so I think the check session thing only works on Auth0 callback right now. See ya, fuzzy buddy, have fun. So let's see. If you have a single page SPA with no corresponding backend server, your SPA should request new tokens on login and store them in memory without any persistence. To make API calls, your SPA would then use the in-memory copy of the token. Okay, so we need to put them. I think we already have them in memory. So login, log out, auth provider, use auth, use effect, and then we have the handle authentication, Auth0 parse hash, set session with the auth result. So the parse hash, parse hash does stuff, and check session does the same stuff. Let's see what happens if we allow cross-site cookies. Let's try that. So I'm going to say yarn start again, and I think this might be Brave fucking me up. I just want to see the actually, let's try this again. So here we're going to say console log check session, just so I can make sure that I'm actually checking the session. Yarn start, and let's make this thing more reliable. So the idea is that we're not allowed to actually save stuff in local storage, which is kind of annoying. So I don't know where to store it. I guess in cookies could be a way. Since we can set cookies, but we're not allowed to use local storage, which is silly. Oh, because cookies come from the backend, that's the thing. So we shouldn't store cookies anywhere. We shouldn't store the tokens anywhere that is directly accessible with... Dude, come on, relax. Okay, so let's see. God damn it, you are scratchy. Check session can be used to get a new token, or the token can be acquired. Ow! The method accepts any valid parameters that would normally be sent to authorize. Okay, so authorize. Do I actually call that? Auth0 authorize. Oh, I can do that. No. What if instead of that we call auth0 authorize? What happens? Auth0.authorize. No, actually no. Oh, let's see. What if the problem is that my auth0 is misconfigured? Let me check that. Candy Cane, you guessed correctly. I keep up with modern tech by looking at Twitter way too much, Hacker News even more way too much. Basically, I just kind of try to keep my ear to the ground, and often I hear about cool things that happen. I don't always, I don't always see everything, but most of the time I do. So it's pretty cool. So let's see, my application needs to be configured differently. Let's see, description, application low. I need to allow web origins here. So if I allow web origins from there, I think then check session is going to just magically work. No, actually, let's try that again. And let's console log. Come on, console log auth0.check session. And let's try it again. So yarn start, and let's look. Oh no, that was a different one. So I'm just trying to figure out what I can do instead of saving tokens on local storage. Secure local storage, maybe? Yeah, DuckDuckGo used to be really secure local storage JavaScript. Please stop using local storage. HTML5 security. Can local storage ever be considered secure? Let's see. Can local storage ever be considered secure? Blah. Web crypto, the concern. Native JavaScript cryptography. No. Meh. Okay, let's reload this thing. Come on. Reload, be nice. Okay. So server responded with 400. So whenever we try to do this, we get auth0 check session always returns 400. Auth0 check session 400. Let's see if there's anything about that. Web auth get check session getting 400. And why is my computer so slow right now? Web auth function. However, the web auth I'm getting failed to load resources. Server responded with 400. I needed to add localhost 3000 allowed web origins. Also, I enabled refresh token under advanced settings grant types. Okay. So let's see. Advanced settings. Allowed web origins we did. Show advanced settings. Where was it? So grant types. Under grant types we need to add, come on, where allowed web refresh token, so that is enabled. Using password or MFA grant types with public applications not recommended. Okay. And use auth example, use auth, review description, application logo, single page app. We are allowing HTTP localhost 8000, and we're allowing Gatsby use auth. Allowed set of URLs that are valid to redirect to after logout. JWT expiration, save changes. Okay, so that should allow me to make a request now. Now reload the page. Bam. Ooh, nice. So that worked. We now got an access token that says I'm already logged in. Wonderful. So we are going to be doing this now. Check session, and then check session is going to do what? Use auth, handle authentication, set session, auth result.access token. Okay, so we can just fire the dispatch. So we can say dispatch, and we're going to say type is login, and then auth reducer dot accept. So it gets an auth result and a user, and we already get the user, don't we? Access token, ID token payload, expires at, and stuff. Okay, let's see. Use auth, user info gets from auth result access token. We can actually call set session, can't we? So set session, state dispatch, use context, handle authentication, auth result, set session with the auth result. So what I want to do is call set session with the auth result. So let's see. If error, we are going to dispatch the error. Error type dispatch, type error. Error type is check session. Yeah, Candy Cane, Brave is actually just Chrome, at least behind the scenes. So it's got all the, what's it called? All of the Google bits are taken out, and everything else is Chrome. So DevTools and everything are the same, which makes it very easy to pick up and start using. So we are checking the session, and we're going to start the use reducer with an empty state. So by default, the use reducer is going to have no state. Does it need to have at least user and expires at? No. We can have an empty state in the beginning. Yes. So in the beginning, the state is good. Now let's make it so that user is null. And what else did we say we have? It's going to be the same as logged out. User is going to be an object, and expires at is going to be null. So that's that. And then here we're going to call set session, which I'm going to import from use auth because it makes sense. So we're going to call set session with auth 0 and the auth result. So actually, no, what do we need? How do I combine these two? Because right now I'm doing pretty much the same thing in two places, which I don't want to do. So we can actually take this. Yeah, here's what we can do. We can export const, handle auth result, which is going to get the auth result. So it's going to take dispatch auth 0 and auth result, and it's going to, so export const function handle auth result, and then it takes this stuff. So pop. Does this give us ID token? It does. So here we say handle auth result with the error auth result dispatch and auth 0. So that's what we need. And then it does this, if auth result blah blah blah, and then it uses auth set session, which can be here. So set session. Yep. set session is going to be a method inside of it. Does that make sense? That seems kind of hacky. So set session, function set session, which is also going to take dispatch, auth 0 and auth result. And set session does what? So it needs to call the user info, and then once it's done, it will navigate, and we can actually turn all of this into promises. Yes, so it's going to be a promise. So we're going to return a, actually no, this can be an async function, export async function handle result, which then awaits set session, and await set session, return true or return false. Neither of those are very important right now, but they will help us. Then we say async function set session, which returns a new promise that has a resolve and an resolve and reject, right? And resolve and reject then calls auth 0 client and stuff like that, and it resolves with the user, let's say, or it rejects with the error. No, here we have resolve with the user or reject with the error. So we have the dispatching and promises, which all should work the same, right? So handle auth result, which means here when we are handling auth result, we can say await handle auth result, and then we can navigate to slash. What is wrong with my syntax right now? Function. Okay, so my syntax is complaining. Let's see what's wrong. Await handle auth result because it's not a async function, right? So handle auth result, and then handle authentication needs to be an async function for this to work. So handle authentication gets called, which is async. It does the handling of auth result and then navigates to slash. Is authenticated, should work. And then we have this stuff for set session, which means in auth provider we can import. Hey Alash, how's the homeland? I heard it's very hot these days. Set session needs dispatch and auth 0 and auth result so that it can work. So we are importing handle auth result from here, handle auth result from /use auth. So we're importing that, which means that when we check the session, we can handle auth result with, what do we need? We need dispatch auth 0 and auth result. Dispatch auth 0 and auth result. Do you need the set session to be async if you're not awaiting anything? That is actually a good point. I don't, but I like making it async so that it's kind of signaling to other parts of my code base that this is an asynchronous 30+ Celsius days. I do not like that. That does not sound fun at all. Okay, so we've got that. We now have check session, which checks the session every time. And then dispatch doesn't need to store tokens anymore. It just needs to store the user and the expiration, right? And we're no longer reading from local storage to make things work. So I'm going to restart my Gatsby and hope for the best. So let's see if it works. Hey Francis, I am apparently breaking everything. What did I break? Await is a reserved word. Where did I use await where I shouldn't have? Okay, let's change this then. So async function, we can say export const handle result equals async blah, pointing to that. I think that will make it work now. Yarn start. So I'm trying to get my use auth hook to work without saving, without insecurely saving tokens to local storage, which seems like it's going to work. Let's see. Okay, I'm reloading the page. Nope, I'm waiting for the page to build and then I'm reloading the page. So reload. Also, the bird went away somewhere. I'm not sure what he's up to, but it's probably nothing good. So let's see, will this manage to reload? So I think I need water. Check session. Okay, so I am not logged in right now, am I? So access token, nickname Swizzard. It's saying that I am in fact logged in. Auth provider instead of check session. Console log. Where am I consoling? This doesn't seem to be working. Let's make sure it's rebuilt. So yarn dev. This is going to rebuild my thing because it's console logging stuff that it's not supposed to be. Yeah. Excuse me. Expires in. Yep. So auth provider, and then let's look at my application. Doesn't have anything in local storage. Wonderful. Await is a reserved word. Where is await a reserved word? What am I doing? Where am I using await where I shouldn't be? Await session. I don't understand what's wrong. Okay, let's see. So what are you telling me is wrong? Auth 0 parse. Oh, god damn it. I see what's wrong. So that's one of the problems with nested functions. Here you see I'm making this one async, but this is actually a callback. So this function needs to be async. So parse hash takes an async function that awaits handle result and then navigates back. Yarn dev, let's see if that works. Auth provider, use auth, perfect, that worked. And now I can yarn start. Let's see if that works. So, hi Bert. Oh, sorry. All right, that loaded at least. Now we reload the page. Hello Bird, come on, get in. Reload the page, reload the page. Come on, load the fucking page. Francis, I do not in fact work remotely. I go to the office every day. Let's see. Load, load, load. Come on, computer, you can do it. Alright, so that loaded. Ooh, okay. Cool. So I am now automatically logged in. Nice. And we are not storing tokens in my local storage. Sweet. So we have the user, we have expires at. Now we gotta make sure that logout actually works. So git status, git rm react use. I don't know what that is about. Git status, git commit -a-m. We're going to say that we. Ooh, pre-series A startup. What's the startup, Francis? So git commit -a-m. Stop storing tokens in local storage. Cool, we've got that. Now the next step is making sure that logging out actually works, because right now we're, it's different now. So log out, single logout is desired. Polling where single logout is needs to be logged out from other logout. So the logout method needs to web auth. Why is it weird joining a young company, Francis? I think it's a really good it's a great opportunity, I think. So dispatch type log out. Instead of doing that, we're going to first call auth0.logout and client. So we need to log out like this. So log out. We say, how do I get the client ID to log me out? Know that if the client ID option, everything is optional. To log out a user, use the logout method. This method accepts an options object. String URL to redirect the user after your auth0 client ID. Add this query string parameter, the logout URL. So we can just say logout, right? I think so. So let's just say logout and let's see if that works. And we don't actually need to log. Do we need to return to the home page after logout? Yeah, I guess we do. So I'm going to reload the. Have I joined a young company before? I have joined many young companies before. Well, I've started young companies, I've joined young companies. The main reason I'm in the US, Candy Cane isn't specifically for a startup. It's more for the entire startup ecosystem and the environment here in Silicon Valley, or especially in SF. So I find that this environment really helps me be the best version of myself, as corny as that sounds. But yes, I am also part of a young-ish startup. It's not that young anymore. It was much younger when I started, and now it's getting older, as things happen to do. All right. So, okay, and now if I click log out, it actually logged me out, but then it said okay, which is weird. I don't want it to do that. Okay, so let's try to set a redirect URI. Oh, return to. Where do we want to return to? We're going to say we want to return back to the, let's see, how is this working? So we want to return to the callback domain. The callback domain is here. Let's add the callback domain to our state. Yeah, that's true, especially in the US. Well, especially in California, you have so-called at-will employment, which means that anyone can basically fire you at any point, but it also means you can quit at any point. So callback domain, we're gonna use that one, and let's see, callback domain, navigate to slash, and we're going to say return to is the callback domain from our state. Yes. So navigate, callback domain, and we say return to callback domain from our context. Actually, let's call it callback. Yeah, that makes sense. Callback domain. Now let's see if that works. I'm gonna go back here. Localhost 8000. Oh, and I'm gonna have to go here and add it to the logout domains, won't I? Allowed callback URLs, allowed logout URLs, which means I'm also gonna have to add this one. Save changes, yarn start. Let's see if that works. Okay, wrong file. Yarn start. We'll see if that works. So, that loaded. I should now be able to go to my domain. Localhost 8000, come on, localhost 8000, localhost 8000, come on, you can do it. Come on, load faster. Jesus, why is this so slow every time? Okay, come on. You can do it. You can do it, computer. Computer, you can do it. Seriously? Yay, I think it's gonna actually load now. So, that compiled successfully. This works. I can now log in. Use auth example, log in. It's gonna go back to my callback URL, which redirects me to the home page. So I am now logged in, and I can reload the page, and I am still going to be logged in. Yep. And then I can log out, which goes to auth 0 and logs me out. Perfect. So that worked. And now I can reload the page and it's still going to work. Yes. Okay. So we fixed logout. Git status, git commit -a-m, fix logout with without using local storage. Okay, so now I have to update the README to make sure that all of that is described in the README. So how to install the hook, setup auth provider, default auth 0 params, create the callback page, auth 0 enjoy use auth. Okay. So I need to install the hook, setup auth provider, default auth 0 params, audience response type. Where did I talk about callback? Create the callback page, PS, make sure you add to as a valid. So that's me. I should probably add. Okay, let me add myself as a Twitter at Swizzets, https twitter.com/Swizzets, blog swizzets.com/blog, https swizzets.com/blog. I think that's the URL. So check. So contributions, issues and features, feel free to check. I am looking to support other authentication providers. Please help. Okay, and let's here add a section on PS tips for a good how to checklist for checklist for configuring auth 0. There's a couple of required configurations you need to make in auth 0 to make there's a couple of required configurations you need to make in auth 0 to make use auth work smoothly, run smoothly. Callback domains. Make callback domains. Where is it? Application details. Yes. I'm excited for you, Adrian. I'm very happy that you did that. So callback URLs. You need to allow both local development and your production app in callback URLs. This it's a whitelist that tells auth 0 that your login request is coming from the right source. So I'm going to copy pasta this. I'm going to make screenshots here. Imgur pasta, come on, pasta. Alright, so that pasted, copy image address. Then we need to, what else did we need to change? Allowed web origins. Web origins. Use auth avoids using local storage for secure tokens. That for auth0 to know that our check session request is coming from the right source, you need to add your URLs to allowed web origins. Pa-pa-da-pam. Copy image address. Allowed logout URLs. After logging out, auth0 redirects back to your app. Again, it needs to know you aren't up to anything shady. Like that. So we added all of that stuff and we're almost ready to release a new version. Yay! Copy image address. Git status, git commit -a-m, update readme with new info. Okay, so now we can bump the version. I don't actually know how to. This is now fixed. Thanks for the heads up, Grayson Hicks. Alright, so we say npm version minor, version 0 to git tags, git tag. How do I change a tag? How do I add a message? Git add message to existing tag. How do I edit an existing tag messaging? So it feels like nobody knows me and I am not sure how to get known, but for now I just want to create some nice content that's worthwhile. Adrian, that is actually how you get known. You keep creating good content that is worthwhile, and the longer you do that, the more audience you're going to attract. And I suggest sharing on Reddit and stuff, so you'll see. It's just you gotta keep at it and you gotta keep putting stuff out and sending it out to whoever will listen. Okay. Version 0 to 0, blah, -f -m. Avoid, stop using local storage. Stop using local storage for tokens. All right. What? Okay, so git tag -d. I don't actually know. Git commit -a-amend. No. I don't know how to make this work. What if I just say git tag -amend? Let's see, I'm trying to figure out how to add a commit message. No. Fatal tag already exists. So why does this not work? Git tag, tag name, weird stuff. Okay, git log, git push origin master minus minus tags. So that should be updated now, I think. Cool. And now I can say npm publish, and I'm going to need my phone for the OTP code, won't I? I will be right back. Authenticator. Let's see, npm. Let's see, did I publish it? Does it work? It does. Awesome. So now I can go to here, code. We can see that we have one release. It says stop using local storage for tokens. Yes. And then here, all of that is still there. And we have the new checklist for configuring Auth0, plus all of my links. Awesome. So I'm going to push out the new examples just to make sure that the example is up to date, that's up live. So I say yarn build. And then I think after that I'm going to stop live coding, and we're going to deal with this other open issue some other time. This one. All right. Bam, load plugins. Okay, so it's building my Gatsby. Let's see what are people saying here. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Now let's see. What was? Oh, right. I need to make sure that the deployed example app is up to date and that it actually still works. So I'm waiting for it for JavaScript to build again, and then I'm going to deploy and test it. And I think that's going to be the best way forward. And then I'm going to stop live coding, and it's Friday, maybe video games. What do you think, Q? Should I play video games? Come on, building production JavaScript and CSS bundles. Why is it taking so long? Okay, that was okay, water. CD public now. So yes, I need to update now. I know. I keep trying to update and it keeps complaining at me. Now alias to what was it? What was the URL? The URL was Gatsby use auth example now sh. Cool. Now let's see if that works. Bam. Cool. How to use auth. This stuff is still here. It's still correct. Login. Use auth example. I'm logging in. Server responded with a status of 404. Great. So why is this not working? Local storage. Let's see. Perp. Example media loader. What? Let's try something else. CD yarn. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to go into my package JSON and remove relative dependencies. And let's say yarn add react use auth. Make sure that I'm installing the latest one, 0.20, and hopefully that will work. Let's see if it does. Okay, it's slow, but it's doing stuff. Cool. And then we say yarn build. Let's do rm minus rf dot cache yarn build. So the problem now is that my what was I gonna say? My example page doesn't work, which is always a bad idea. So we're going to try building it again and redeploying it and fixing everything. And yeah, I don't think this part of the stream is going to be very interesting, so I'm going to stop streaming just so that my build processes work faster and I can get to playing video games sooner. So thanks everyone for watching. I will see you again on Sunday around 2 p.m, maybe closer to 1 p.m. We'll see how it goes. Thanks guys, or girls. Thanks anyone who was out there. See you next time.